Hello, and welcome to Sonoma Strong Healing Fair's online event. I am Diana Borges, one of the co-founders of Sonoma Strong Healing Fairs, along with Sherry Petrioli. And tonight, we are happy to have Amy Connor as our speaker. Sonoma Strong Healing Fair has been presenting for the entire month of April a speaker, either at 8:30 in the morning or at 7 o'clock at night, and that specific daylight time. I would like to share with you Sonoma Strong Healing Fair's contact information. On the screen, you can see our mission statement, and at the bottom is our website, sonomastronghealingfair.com. Our email is info@sonomastronghealingfair.com, and our Facebook page is Sonoma Strong Healing Fair. So although this is our first online event, we have held 3 in-person events, with the first one starting in 2017 when the wildfires came through Sonoma County and a couple of the surrounding areas. And I would like you to know that this is being recorded and it will be put on our YouTube channel, Sonoma Strong Healing Fairs, which can be accessed through our website, Sonoma Strong Healing Fair. And if you have any questions for Sherry, myself, or Amy, our speaker, you can put it in the chat. And to get to the chat, if you go down to the bottom with your cursor, if you're on the computer, hit the chat button, and then over to the right, you can type in your question or comment. And after the recording is stopped, we will open it up for open discussion. So right now, I would like to pass this on to Amy Connor, who will be talking about intuitive coaching.
Thank you, Diana. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us here today. My name is Amy Connor, and I am an intuitive reader and a teacher. I'm considered a medical intuitive, a medium, and a life coach, and I've got an office in Northern California and do a lot of phone readings. So if you have any other questions about today or want to get in contact with me, you can at amyconnor.net. I get a lot of questions in my workshops and in my sessions about intuition, about intuitive abilities, how to grow our intuitive abilities. So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to chat with you guys about how we do that. This is a very interesting time that we're in, and a lot of us are looking to what our next steps are in all of this. And in order to see those next steps and have clarity, it's important that we really are tuning in with our intuition and getting an accurate read on what we should be doing and how we navigate this. So we're all born intuitive. What I do as an intuitive is nothing special or unique. We all have the ability to tap into our inner guidance. This is something that we've been doing our entire lives, but we lose sight on what exactly is the information that we're getting and is it reliable, and we're in our head too much. But it's not about trying to develop this ability out of nowhere. This is about how we let go the mental block of intuition and allow it to happen. So it's not learning a new way of living, it's allowing and remembering how we really are. The biggest stumbling block that I find people to be in is to try to figure out what's intuition, what's imagination, because it's really easy to get the two of those messed up. And we are in our head all day long so often that we miss a lot of the intuitive guidance that comes in. So when intuition comes through, it is lightning fast and it comes from absolutely nowhere. It's a thought that pops in, it's a feeling that we've got, it's just this inner knowing and we don't even know where it comes from. So it comes in so quickly, but it leaves just as fast. And it really doesn't have an emotion around it. It doesn't make you feel sad, doesn't make you feel worried, doesn't make you feel anxious. It's just random energy that feels like it just moves through you. Most of the time, you will say, that was weird. What just happened? That was really bizarre. That's when you know you're getting some real intuitive guidance. It's not something that you've been talking about. It's not something that you've been worried about. It comes out of nowhere, typically when you're in a pretty mindful space. Driving down the road, not really thinking about anything. You're at the grocery store, you're not really thinking you'll find that that type of intuitive guidance starts to come in. When it's imagination, it is typically based upon something that you've been talking about, something you've been thinking about, worrying about, something that someone said that takes on legs and all of a sudden becomes this 10-minute rabbit hole, hamster wheel, thinking really hard and being really emotional about something. So with imagination, you'll find that you usually have a visceral response of worry, of fear, of anger. There's some emotion that comes over. So you'll find that after you go through a whole thought process and you want to analyze, was this imagination or was this intuition? You, with imagination, you can follow the thread to your initial thought and why it was caused. So I remember driving down the road, really icy, snowy conditions. I had my dog in my lap, and I happened to look over to see the side of the mountain, and I just started this thought process of, wow, that's really steep. Wow, that would suck to go over with the car. Wow, what would happen to my dog? This whole worry thought process based upon just looking over the edge and having these random thoughts, I could piece it together that I was not getting intuitive guidance. This had a start and it had a long drawn out process of thinking my way through this, of worst case scenario. So intuition, super quick, out of nowhere, no real emotion to it. And it's something that is usually, the way you react is like, that was really odd. That was really weird information that I just got. So remember the two of those, because you're going to be experiencing intuition hundreds of times a day, but make sure you're analyzing where this information is actually coming from. It's important that you recognize how intuition comes through for you. Everybody gets intuition differently. And if you are not cognizant of how it comes through, it's really easy to miss it. So you can be getting intuition through a thought, just a random thought that pops into your head. It could be a person that pops in. It could be a word, a phrase. It pops into your head. And sometimes people will say that they see the word spelled out in their mind. This thought that pops in can also be considered hearing. So when people say, I hear intuition, it qualifies as that. On the other realm of hearing, you can actually hear a short sentence or a word, and that'll be the same thing. So when it pops into your head, it's a thought that comes out of nowhere. You can also just get a feeling that comes out of nowhere. I feel that person might not have the best energy, or I'm feeling really sad being around somebody, or I'm feeling really anxious being around somebody. You're intuiting their energy, and it's making you have a response of a feeling. So that's you and your interpretation of reading that energy. You can also get pictures. So if you imagine, as we're talking here, what the outside of your house looks like, that's what a picture will look like inside your mind's eye. I get a ton of pictures when I do readings, along with the feeling, along with the thoughts popping in. So they can all come together at one time, and it can be kind of hard to dissect the way that they're coming through. But you can also be getting information through just knowing, like, I don't know how I know, I just know. And you'll get those bursts of information, of almost like channeled information. I just know what I should be doing, or I just know the answer. I just know who's calling me, and I don't know why. It just is happening. Some people will dream about intuition and will have really accurate dreams that end up coming true. I find that's pretty rare, but it's pretty cool when it happens. I don't have that. It's a lot of interpreting, and it's a lot of having to have the same type of intuition coming through over and over again to really understand it. So it can be a more difficult way of working with intuition, but you can certainly do it that way as well. Some people smell it. I believe Sherry on the call has had that experience before. That's super rare. Some people taste what's going on around them in the form of health issues. They'll have a certain metallic taste in their mouth, or they just interpret it a very unique way. I don't know anybody else that has smelled intuition or tasted intuition. That's pretty unique. Typically, you're going to have pictures, you're going to have feelings, you're going to have words that pop up, and they all just kind of come together. So look at the times that you know that you had intuition. You know you should have turned right, but you turned left, and it led to a series of events. Go back to that time and think about, what was it that made you even want to turn one direction over the other? Why were you pulled in the opposite direction than what you chose? Was it a feeling? Was it a picture that popped up? Or was it a word or a phrase that popped up? Give some consideration to that and see how that formulates for you going forward, because this is going to happen over and over and over again, thousands of times. Just be aware of what exactly is happening when you're getting intuition. Be really aware there is no limit to the type of intuition you can get. You can get information on everything. You can get intuition from every different aspect. You can see it, you can feel it, you can hear it, but you can also get information on health, on purpose, on relationship, on finances. Where should I put my money? Where should I invest it? There's no limit to what you can feel and what you can experience and hear and see. You may get information on somebody who passed. It's limitless. So the people that say, well, I can only communicate to those on the other side, that's their own limitation. You can do it all. It's just about, are you limiting yourself, or do you really believe that this is possible? There are 3 big ways to get intuition that you need to be aware of how it really comes through, besides the hearing, the feeling, all of that, but really 3 main ways of how it'll be easy for you to recognize it. The first one is through random thoughts. You are outside gardening, you're outside exercising, you're doing something where you're not having to think your way through it. It's not homework, it's not office work, you're not doing your taxes. It's mindless creative activity. You'll find that this information will pop in out of nowhere. For me, a lot of times it happens when I'm driving in the car. My mind's somewhere else. It's the kind of drive where you drive for half an hour and you get somewhere and you're like, how in the world did I get here? That's the mind space where it's really easy to intuit information, but it comes in really randomly. That information, that random information, is so important. It's coming to you for a reason. You're not asking for it. So that's when you need to listen to it big time of what exactly is coming through for you. Even if you can't make sense of it at the moment, write it down. It will make sense for you at some point. Another way for intuition to come through and get your attention is through health. Whenever we have health challenges, whatever they are, however minor or however major they are, it could be from I get the cold or the flu to I had a big life-changing car accident, cancer, whatever it is, there's a reason why that is happening. Your intuition is coming through. There's messages that need to be heard, and your body is giving you those signs through aches, pains, disease, illness. It's really important that you're understanding that we don't get sick just because. There's always going to be an energetic reason behind an illness. Sure, we've got genetics and environment and some physical issues, but there's always going to be an emotional catalyst. What exactly your intuition is trying to say can be tricky to decipher when it comes to health. I'm happy to decipher that for you in our sessions. But recognize when you have health issues, there is always a connection. The third way that intuition makes itself known is through when you tune in. And we'll talk more about that aspect today, because tuning in purposefully to your intuition is so much easier than people think. And it's about being able to get into a very deep, meaningful, mindful space. That is your very first step to tuning into your own intuition, or even tuning into a space where you're able to do readings for other people. It all starts with that super mindful space. This space is so mindful and so quiet that when you're in it, when you're fully in it, you have no idea that there's even a room outside of the room that you're in. You have no idea that there's any kind of world outside of that moment of where you are. It's you and your breath and your heartbeat and just feeling energy. That's when you know that you are so clicked in to that mindful space that you will be getting super accurate guidance. If you feel like you're coming in and out of that space, you're not going to get as accurate guidance, and your imagination is going to start to take over a little bit. So it's imperative that you find yourself, it doesn't need to be a deep 20-minute meditation. If it takes you that long to get there, that's okay. But your goal is to be able to get there within 5 or 10 minutes. So practice each day with getting into some mindfulness. It could be 60 seconds, it could be a couple minutes, but practice multiple times a day of being able to calm yourself and get into that space. The faster you can get into that space, the easier it's going to be in order to get into your intuition. So when we're in that super deep mindful space, our eyes are closed. We've got a pad of paper and a pen in front of us because we want to be taking some notes of what we've got going on in our mind, what's coming through. It's important that we are, after we're super mindful and connected, we're focusing on what our question is or who we're wanting to click into. There's got to be a focused intent on, all right, what are we thinking of? What do we want insight on? And then you're allowing it to come in. You do not let your mind try to find the answer. You're not thinking your way through this. So when your mind starts to go into a space of searching for the information, you'll find that your mind takes off into these very bizarre tangents where it'll start to go down the imagination round. You'll find that you've got these twists and turns and different possibilities and worries popping up. So if you get to that point, that's okay. It's pretty normal. But know that that's not the time to go deeper into what you're seeking guidance on. That's the time to take a break, take a step back. If you need to take a break of a few minutes, a day, and come back and revisit, that's totally fine. But just take a step back, recenter yourself, and then allow whatever your focus is to come into view. If I'm asking for some guidance on myself with, say, work or purpose, I'm going to have that thought process of, all right, I'm focusing on work or I'm focusing on purpose. I'm going to let whatever needs to come through, come through. So I'm going to see what words are popping up for me, what names, could be a short phrase. It may be something that completely does not make sense to me at the time, and that's fine. It's not your job to put it all together at this time. It's letting the information come into your mind, and then you're writing it down. It's so important that you write this information down, not let it circulate in your head. When it's circulating in your head, you will have a tendency to go down that rabbit hole and try to think your way through it. Your job is to make an open space for all this information to come through, write it down and get it out. Allow some more space for more to come through, write it down and get it out. There are times where I've got a whole page written about somebody before I connect with them because I'm connecting with their energy and I'm writing down whatever's coming through, whether it makes sense for me or not. And this applies very much so to when we're reading ourselves and trying to get some more information about different options and what we should be doing, what's in alignment for us. So as we do this, it's really automatic writing that we're doing when we're jotting down all of these notes. And the longer you do it, the more minutes that pass, the easier it's going to be and more information flows out. So if you find yourself a little stuck getting into it and you're like, well, I think I'm getting this information, but I'm not sure, write it down. As soon as you start writing this stuff down, it really starts to flow for you and it's so much easier. I would really encourage you to be practicing free writing on a daily basis. Free writing really turns into automatic writing and makes it so much easier to get into this space. So just like those mindful moments throughout the day are really important to get into this space, automatic writing is just as important. So those are the two big things that I would be practicing on and trying to get really good at, because with all of us having these intuitive abilities, it's about how we're practicing them, right? This isn't something that we can mess around with once in a while and really think that we're going to see a huge shift. It needs to be something that's looked at on a daily basis of, all right, this is where my awareness is going, at least for a little bit every day, so it can be easier. It's just like, I'm not going to go to the gym once a month and expect to be gaining a bunch of muscle or losing a bunch of weight. It's something that's going to be consistent, that's going to show you the results, but you need to be in that headspace multiple times a day. The mindfulness, the writing is huge for connecting. It's important that you're getting validation when we're reading ourselves, when we're reading other people. If we don't have validation, we're not going to know if the information that we're getting is accurate or not. So validation comes in the form of going back to, does this feel like intuition or does this feel like imagination? How did you come to that conclusion of the information that you got? Did it come from nowhere, or can you find a starting point from, yeah, this was something I was talking about recently, or this is somebody that I was thinking about. These were things I was worried about. That can really skew our point of view. So just recognize where that's coming from. Also, see how things unfold. If you're getting information about some decisions you should make, how does it feel? See how it unfolds once you make that choice that lines up with the information that you got. You can also play around with a deck of cards if that's your thing. That's a great way to validate the information that you're getting. You're not playing with the deck of cards before you're intuiting the information. It's really messing around with them afterwards. So it's just confirming the information that you got. If you're practicing with intuiting information on someone else, you're going to want them to validate the information that you got. You're going to want to ask them about it. So it's important that you are really seeing the connection to the information that you're getting and the proof that it's real information. Again, I'm happy to help you with that chapter as well, because that is a little bit of a learning curve, but it's completely doable. I've taught many workshops, many classes on how to do readings on ourselves, on other people, and it's not as hard as you would think. I've had people completely learn how to do readings within a few hours. So it's just taking a natural ability and giving you some awareness of how to recognize this information that comes through, how to piece it together. But it's important that you are doing it often. I love to play with predictions throughout my day. And when I first started all of this, I would play around with, if I'm on the freeway, I would see a car in front of me and I would get a feeling that their blinker would come on. So I'd play around with, is it going to be the left one or is it going to be the right one? Or which elevator is coming down first? So play around with it, because it's a great way to involve yourself every day in the intuitive process and make it fun. It's something where you can even go through your own body and try to intuit what's going on health-wise with you, what lights up for you, and then see how you end up feeling, what's showing itself in your physical body. So it's the energetic part comes before the physical, right? So if you're picking up on an energetic part of your body and then you're seeing the physical aspect of it, that's a validation of what you're getting, and a validation that you should probably be looking into why it's happening in the first place and what you need to know. So again, any questions, I'm happy to answer them for you guys. This is a fun process of redeveloping your intuition, and it's actually a lot easier than we make it. It's a pretty fun process too. So any questions, please reach out. Again, my website is amyconner.net, and I'd love to talk with you guys further about it. Sherry, Diana, I'll send it back to you.
Okay. Maybe. Thank you, Amy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was great. And just like Amy said, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. And after the recording, we will stick around for those of you who may have some more questions. So at this time, again, thank you. My name is Sherry Pedrioli, and I am the founder of Holistic Choices Incorporated and the co-founder of Sonoma Strong Healing Fair. Sonoma Strong Healing Fair and Sonoma Strong Healing Fair and Holistic Choices are nonprofit organizations that are dedicated to providing education, free healing fairs, whether they be virtual or in person, chapters in our compilation books, referral directories, and many other ways that we can, again, help support our community. So if you'd like some information about Holistic Choices or Sonoma Strong, visit our websites, sonomastronghealingfair.com or choicesbookseries.com. And just remember, your donations allow us to continue offering all of these free services. It doesn't matter if it's a catastrophic event. It's ongoing. So we want to be here for support. We want people to know that they have choices, right? Especially before making any life-changing decisions. So, and because of that, I'm actually going to share my screen real quick. And again, those of you who may have come on after, our mission is to provide education to our communities. Our website, SonomaStrongHealingFair.com. Diana and I can be reached at info@SonomaStrongHealingFair.com, and then of course our Facebook page. And bringing more education and information to you, we continue throughout the month of April. And tomorrow morning at 8:30, we are going to be doing some more tapping with Beryl Ryan. And then the following morning is some intuitive drawing workshop. So these schedules are on the website and the Facebook pages. So thank you. We appreciate you being here. And again, big thanks to Amy. She's pretty amazing. I've worked with her, so check her out. We'll make sure her information is also in the chat so we can put it up on the YouTube channel. All right, thanks everybody. Have a great evening.